am live. It has been a minute, more than a week, 10 days, I believe, since my last stream. I'm still new to Streamlabs, still figuring it out and stuff like that. I was having a hard time. Like, I was procrastinating pretty hard on coming to Twitch for some reason. I don't know why I was procrastinating on it. I was trying to figure out what to do. I had a couple of things in mind. I was deciding between like doing hot topics. There's just a lot going on. It was hard to pin down like what I want to talk about. And I also wanted to do, I also did like, ordered some stuff and I was planning on doing another haul like I did last time, but like a mini haul. Like my hauls are never that big because I don't have money for it. You have anything else to say? Was she tired? Susanna's tired. Yeah, we are both guys. Oh, I love you. Boop. Do you want to say hi? I'll bring her to the screen to view. I don't know what it's called. How come I can't do words? Come here. Let's show them your sweater. Oh, look at her sweater. Isn't that cute? Oh, yes. Don't lick my eyebrow off. I still need it. The day is not over yet. It's not over yet. Do you want to? Hello. Hi. Okay. Anyways, hang tight. I'll be done soon. I placed like a same day delivery with Ulta this morning and it didn't work. Susanna is chewing on her bone. So you might hear that. But whatever. I mean, not expecting much. It usually does work out pretty well. I think I've only done it like maybe twice before. And today I haven't done it in a while and I didn't feel like leaving the house. I got something I totally did not need. And now I have to return it and reorder the stuff. They were really trying to get me to go to the store and I'm like, just send it again. Stop telling me to go to the store. That was the whole point of it. So I just like placed a second order and it should be coming soon. I was kind of looking forward to creating like a direct YouTube video instead of editing down like a stream. I wish I saw what was in the bag, but they had it sealed so I couldn't even open the bag. I don't know if like the delivery person just gave me the wrong item or if someone was trolling, but I didn't even get like an order sheet. So I'm assuming that somebody from the store is trolling because that's what people like to do out here. Just be passive aggressive trolls because what else can they do? I don't know. Meditate. I've been very active on TikTok and Instagram. Last I checked on TikTok, I had 88 followers. I'm getting close to 100. Instagram, most of my followers are people I don't know. And I keep getting spam messages from like accounts that want to sell me followers. I'm not trying to do all that, just showcasing my personality and opinions, and people like to formulate their own about me. I started ADHD meds last week. It's working out good. There was one morning when I threw up. That was kind of my fault, but I don't know. I was also getting used to the medicine. I started taking Strattera about 2 weeks ago. They start me off with 18 milligrams, and then I started 25 milligrams yesterday. It's okay. I can't eat in the morning, so breakfast is pretty much canceled, and I'm a little sad about that because one of my favorite things to do in the morning is make a coffee or tea and eat a little something. But now I can't do that. I just get my day started, which isn't too bad, but I am a creature of habit and I like my little rituals. And to combat the nausea, I just wait until my stomach starts growling before I eat, and that helps. The morning that I threw up, I wasn't hungry and I had taken my medication, but I still wanted to do my routine, drink coffee, and have a little snack. That morning, I had a crumpet with spiced apple spread. It was basically like a fall jam, and I had some French pressed coffee with coffee creamer. And I think it was too much sugar and caffeine, and my stomach did not like that. After I ate half of the crumpet and drank half of my coffee, it just came up. I assume that I also threw up my medication too. I didn't see it, but I'm assuming I did. I'm also like extra sensitive to caffeine now, so I have to time that out. I don't always drink coffee and tea in the morning. It's become like an afternoon thing, and that usually gives me enough energy to last until it's time to go to bed. There were 2 nights out of the week where I slept through it. I didn't experience insomnia, and I always appreciate nights like that because it doesn't always happen for me. That's enough with that update. I did contact my psychiatrist about my symptoms, and I need to double check what he said because I think I got a text message saying he responded. I also want to mention that I have an OnlyFans, but I'm not, since I'm neurodivergent, I'm doing it differently, and I'm so stubborn about it. I don't have any nudes on there, but it's all unedited, like 10 to 15-minute videos of me just like updating. I have a good amount of posts on there, so there should be enough content on there to keep you entertained. Looking back at it now, I should have done like Patreon, but then again, I heard that it's easier to interact with people and you get paid by the messages with OnlyFans. So just gonna stick with it. That's gonna be like my donation channel or whatever. Hopefully as it grows it will be a fun place. But right now it's kind of awkward. I feel like I should have done Patreon if I'm going to be doing this. Like, it does say on my little profile that I don't have nudes. Not trying to disappoint anybody. But yes, if you would like to support. I still feel weird asking people. Gonna jump into the hot topics. All right, so some hot topics. I wanted to talk about the government shutdown, but then they decided not to shut down and they passed a last minute spending bill, whatever that means, so that they can stay open and people will stay paid, which is good because I completely agree with everybody else. Like, Congress shouldn't get paid. Lawmakers should not get paid if like the essential workers are not going to be getting paid. I feel like whenever the government does shut down like that, there should be more outrage. But what else can we do about it? It's not like we can tell them, hey, no, don't do that. We could say that, but is it going to do anything? I've been asking like where Gen X is like all week. Just because there's a lot of older politicians who are kind of going through it with their health and stuff. Just yesterday, Dianne Feinstein died. She was 90 years old. And that's kind of crazy because this seems like that's the pattern last few years. Very prominent figures in government have been passing away. I guess it's the sign of the times. It's time for a new generation to step in. I also received a comment because I was like asking TikTok about that, like, where is Gen X? And then someone commented, they were like, Gen X here. They basically said that they were tired and didn't believe in the government, and they're just waiting for the boomers to die before they take over. And I told them, don't wait until they die. Like, don't wait for that. Like, work with them. Gen X has been so quiet. It's crazy. Like, I cannot tell what side Gen X kind of lies. Like, I always thought like Gen X were democratic because of the whole grunge thing in the 90s. But some of them are kind of right wing leaning. It's surprising me a bit. Like, it's kind of crazy because you never hear anybody talk about Gen X. You always hear people talk about millennials and Gen Z. So is Gen X talking shit about millennials? Were they the ones talking shit? Because I always thought it was the boomers. I don't know why I assume that. Maybe I assume that because I see them in positions of power and I don't really see them passing the torch or the baton to the next generation. So maybe that's why I assume that. And I'm not trying to be ageist, but at the same time, how is it that lawmakers, the president can be like 80 years old, but I've been having like trouble with the mail, like who hasn't in the Bay Area? And I was looking at careers for, I'm trying to get my iPad so that I can look up the information because I'm using my phone as a camera. I think it was for the postal inspector position, like the maximum age is 37. And I'm like, why is the maximum age for the Office of Inspector General 37, but you can be like 80 and be a lawmaker? It just doesn't really make sense to me. If you're going to increase the age limit, just do it across the board. Oh, and then I also want to talk about like student loans and stuff because fraud is so rampant. I guess I also would like to share my student loan story. I mean, it doesn't really matter because I'm not a special case. There's lots of people, lots of students who are experiencing this. So with student loans, you always want to, I've always stuck with like the federal government. I've had 1 or 2 private student loans. Always go with the government. It's better. It's a little bit of a gray area with dealing directly with banks, but as a student, you want to try to stick with the government as much as possible because they're not going to you over like banks will. And you never ever want to pay for student loan advice. Anytime you want student loan advice, you want to go directly to government's website. I wish I had a thing to connect over here so I could show you what I'm typing. Anytime you need to do anything in regards to your federal student loans, and always try to stick with student loans. Stay away from private loans because that will increase your student loans by like a lot, and they're more expensive and it's less flexible and it's just bad. Always go with the government. And you want to go to studentaid.gov. I swear to God, I'll look up instructions, but this is what the website should look like. And if it's a legit government website, it usually has a banner on the very top, and it will say an official website of the United States government. And that's how you know you're on a legit site and you're not on like a scammer site. I already applied for the income driven repayment plan, IDR. I didn't pay anything the entire time because I didn't make enough money. It does not feel good to say that. But hopefully things work out in my new career direction. That won't be an issue anymore. You want to go to studentaid.gov. If you're already in a IDR plan, it should be pretty easy. They created a new one, and the main difference between the new one and the old one is that the new one gives the government access to your IRS files so they can see all of your tax returns and they can see how much you make. And I'm pretty sure that they're doing that to see how much students are actually using to pay for their debt, which is understandable. There has been like a few good months that I personally had, like working in the service industry, where I could have made a payment, but instead I decided to treat myself. And at the same token, there's also been times when I got paid a little bit less, or my hours were cut, or, whatever. So, it's just a very unstable environment. And right now I'm looking for something more stable. So once you go to the website, if you already have one, you want to go to the returning IDR. You can't even see it, damn it. If you already have an IDR plan, you want to go to the returning IDR borrowers section. And then there's a button that says login to start. And then you would take the steps to go through it. And it's pretty easy to do. You just sign a consent form saying that you give the government access to your IRS forms. It's a really good plan because the amounts that you have to pay back is actually a lot less than usual. If you used to pay like $140 or something a month, it would reduce down to like $40 or something like that. So that's very good. And when you fill this out, it will ask you for your pay stubs if you are receiving income. And if you're not, you don't have to turn that in. I kind of got confused a bit because I'm not employed still, but I was able to work around it. It's pretty easy. But yes, you want to go to studentaid.gov for all of your questions about your student loans. And also update your account, make sure it's current. If you are having mail issues, I suggest putting a lock on your credit report so that people don't steal your information, because identity theft is crazy out here. It has happened to me a handful of times and they do not stop with that. But it's pretty easy. You always want to go to this website though for everything. Don't go anywhere else. There's also, you can also apply for student loans on here. So if you're a high school student and you want to go to college, or if you're attending community college and you need more money, like this is the only website you need to go to for all of your student loan needs. All the other banks like Wells Fargo, Chase, and stuff like that, like that's on a whole different thing. Another cool thing about signing up this time around, and if you can't pay your first payment, and I know it's due in October, I owe $400 in October for student loans, but I sent in my IDR renewal. I signed up for the new one that they're asking everybody to sign up for. And if you don't make that first payment, it's not going to harm your credit score. So I'm not worried about not paying $400 in October because I don't have $400. And since I signed up for the new IDR plan, I don't have to worry about it. It will automatically work its magic and reset itself. I just gotta give it some time. And the cool thing about signing up for the new IDR plan is you don't have to keep signing up for it like the original one. For the original one, you're supposed to update it anytime you have a change in your income. And since they will have access to your IRS forms, like you don't have to keep giving them consent. So that's cool. We'll see how the student loan journey goes. I have a feeling they're going to work some sort of magic to where they give students who have like paid off their loans or paid something off, like will receive some sort of benefit. I doubt that the students who actually paid into it will be cut short. But at the same time, it's not, always easy for someone like me to find a job they'll pay enough for that. Maybe it's because I'm looking in the wrong places. Maybe it's because I need to look at government jobs since the private sector jobs aren't really working out for me and they're not paying that well. Which is another thing I kind of wanted to lead into. So, you know how, like, I've heard a couple of conversations where corporations and private sector companies see the value in unemployment and threatening job security for their workers because it makes them more motivated and more passive and more accepting of their. Okay, you want to do that? Then I'm going to look for jobs in government so that I can get my foot in the door and fight back. I feel like that's the only way we can get our power back is by working in government and making laws reporting behavior that's really sketchy. Stop robbing people, you rich corporate. I also have one on crime, the border, the port of Oakland, and after school programs. Because think about crime and the border and like how there's so many drugs and stuff, and there is not a lot of security at the marinas in Oakland. The port of Oakland is just a place where you can get goods from anywhere. Thing floating in my head that might be controversial, but it would probably make a really cool like sci-fi or like, and I don't know, like a good fictional story that could turn into like a superhero story. Because going on another tangent, I think around the time when comic books came out, there was like another war going on, and then and crime was really bad in Manhattan. That's how Batman came to be. Like, whenever the U.S. is going through a really rough time, people relish in their creativity. The media always says that China ships ingredients to make fentanyl to Mexico, and then Mexico brings it to the U.S. And I'm like, the port of Oakland is right there. Why go through Mexico and then why go the long way when the shortcut is right there? And I don't know if nobody talks about it because it's like a secret, but based on what I've seen and how bad crime is and homelessness and stuff, like it could be another entryway. A week or two ago, they were saying that the Coast Guard needed. Oh my God. I'm getting hungry and I need to eat, and I'm at 35 minutes. Maybe I'll just stop for now because my stomach is growling. And I am getting into some pretty spicy territory. I can't concentrate right now because I need to go make some food and eat. So I'm going to go. I hope you have a good one, and I'll do another live stream soon. Goodbye.